Good morning นะครับ everyone and Happy New Year. Okay, welcome back to the university นะครับ Right now we are on trimester 2 of the academic year 2021 to 2022 นะครับ So I hope that all of you are fine นะครับ Okay, by the way, my name is อาจารย์ปรมินทร์นะครับ So today we are going to talk about the course syllabus of the course that we have to study today, and then I'll just like introduce the software tools that we have to use in this term. All right. So first of all, the communication channel that we can use, because I mean this course we are going to have the online course for our subject. So that means in order to meet each other, one of the good way is that I'll use the line group so that you can just like we can communicate to each other easily. Good morning, Kabarit. Okay, all right. Okay, so in this one, I'll just like share the QR code for our line group, so that you can just like add yourself to our line group, just one belong. Okay, so for this course, this is the ICMB207 or the former name was ICMB282 it is the management of business information subject. In this course it is like 4 credit course, that is for 408 3 numbers in the parentheses means the number of hours that you have to spend in each proportion. So that means in this course we have 4 lecture hours per week. We meet each other on every Monday and Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 9:50. We have no laboratory, but anyway, you need to have to practice by yourself, like for the self-study for 8 hours per week. That means you have to manage your own time in order to just like practice for what we have learned, or you may have to just like do some homework or assignments, or sometimes I may have just like the group discussion as well, so that you can just discuss with your group mates. Okay, so for the program and type of the subject, this is for undergrad students of MUIC, and this subject is the core business subject. So in this subject we have two lectures. The first one is Ajahn Veera. He is responsible for section 1, 2, and 3. And for me, Ajahn Paramin, I'm responsible for section 4 and section 5. Right now we are in section 4. We are in section 4. So if you would like to communicate with me, this is just like the official way for sending an email. But I mean, like for the unofficial ones, we can communicate to each other by using the line group as well. So for my office hours, actually, because right now we are still in the period of COVID-19, that I mean, like we still have like the online course and on-campus courses. So that means for the office hours, I still reserve the time for you. If you would like to meet each other, but in this term, I think it must be on the over Zoom. We can just like make an appointment. My regular office hours is 4 to 6 p.m. on every Mondays and Wednesday. But I mean, sometimes if you really don't have the time that match with my office hours, we can just like make an appointment to just like set up some other time as well. But I mean, for the time that I know that most of you should be available is like maybe after 6 p.m. we can just like talk over Zoom as well. I don't mind, but you have to make an appointment first. So for this subject, we offer this subject for all for every trimester all year round. And approximately we have we can accommodate up to 40 students per section. This course doesn't have the prerequisite course before you can take this course, so don't worry about it. So in here, the venue of study, even though we say that it is in Salaya campus, but during the COVID-19 situation, we have to meet each other in the for studying online only. Okay, now let's see for the goals of this course. In here for this subject, you have to know that because all of us are business students, then most modern of organizations right now have been increasingly relying on availability of data. Why is that? Because in most of the modern, actually I can tell you that it's all of the modern organizations they need to make a decision. And also whenever they have to make a decision, they don't guess, they have to use data. So the availability of data is important for the modern organization. So much so now that data is regarded as the new oil. The overall goal of this course is to prepare you to understand the importance of data. In this course, you will learn how to use computerized tools to build data models, as well as analyze and visualize data in order to make informed decisions. So apart from that one, the knowledge that you receive from this course, you will be able to use your knowledge in other subjects or in other courses as well, because the tools that we use in this class is the fundamental tools for all of the business students, and also for all business people. They have to know how to use this kind of tools as well. So that means in the future, you have to use these tools that we have to learn for this class. And the objective of the course development or revision, the objective is for students to understand the importance of data analysis, data visualization, to build data models and make informed decisions. So let me talk about the word data visualization a bit. Actually, data visualization, when you just like use the word visualization, actually visualization comes from the word visual. So that means normally when the data that we have used nowadays, when you just like collect all the data, most of the time the data are numbers that we have to just like use any kind of tools in order to just like transform it to be the understandable forms. But in terms of visualization, it means that how do you gonna make the data to be viewed easily, not just the numbers, because actually if you just like see the numbers all the time, especially in the meeting room when you have just like very short period of time to make a decision, just look at the number itself is not enough. So you can see that right now when you just like watch the news or some of just like the billboards or some TV programs or some YouTube clips, the easiest tools in order to let you understand the numbers easily is that they may show you in form of the infographics. Infographics is one example of the data visualization that they transform from all the numbers to be in the easier forms for just like having just a glance to understand. So now let's come back to the objective. The next objective นะครับ for this course นะครับ we set up the course level learning outcomes, or we call it as CLOs นะครับ the CLO นะครับ we have prepared the CLO for this course to into 5 CLO นะครับ the first one is to demonstrate understanding of data analytics in business practices and organizations. The next learning outcome is to interpret the result of business data and their implications on business operation. The third CLO is to use software package to develop appropriate models for business analysis and problem solving. CLO number 4 is to analyze the results of business model that produce business intelligence in a variety of settings. And the last CLO of this course is to generate business insights using visualization reports and dashboards based on the features of the business data. When we set up the CLO like this, that comes to the next section. This is the course management. Okay. So in this course, we will just like learn about data fundamentals such as connecting to data, shaping it, combining and characterizing data into the understandable form. Building data models using financial models, scenario manager, goal seek, data tables, and DAX นะครับ so DAX actually stand for data analysis expression นะครับ we will learn more about the DAX นะครับ when we reach that part นะครับ analyzing data using pivot tables, calculated columns, and calculated measures นะครับ so these are just like the specific key terms for the software that you have to use. Okay, visualization of data using spark lines, slicers, reports, visualizers, and dashboards. So in this course, we set up the credit hours per trimesters นะครับ here นะครับ 48 hours for lectures นะครับ and 96 hours for self studies นะครับ as I described before. We have lectures 4 hours per week นะครับ and self-study 8 hours per week, and then we have 12 weeks in this term นะครับ so these are the numbers of hours that you have to spend for this course. So number 3 is number of hours that lecturer provides individual counseling and guidance นะครับ as I mentioned earlier, I provide office hours 4 hours per week for you นะครับ and student could make requests for appointment whenever necessary. Okay. So the next one, in this one, it's the development of students' learning outcome. These are CLO that I explained to you already. Okay, for the 5 CLOs that we have got. And the next one, we talk about teaching methods that we have to use in order to develop the knowledge or skills specified in the CLOs and measuring the course learning outcome. So you can see that we have examinations and group projects in order to let you have be evaluated in each CLOs. Okay. So now we come to section number 5 about the teaching plan. For the teaching plan, in week number 1, we will learn about the introduction to data analysis and data visualization. I'll talk about the tools that we have to use. We will spend 4 hours, and all of them are online session. Okay. So in next on week 2, you understand, you learn to understand logical and logical functions. Week 3, we will learn about building financial models and understanding sensitivity analysis. Week 4, we will learn how to use scenario manager and summary of forecast, summary to forecast data. Week 5, we will learn how to add interactivity to business models using forms. Week number 6, you learn about data analysis using advanced filter, some if else, and some products. Week number 7, we learn about the data analysis using pivot tables. Week number 8, we will learn the data analysis expression, or DAX. Week 9, we will learn data visualization using data bars, icon sets, slicers, pivot charts. Week 10, we will learn data visualization as well, but there are more tools that I'll just introduce to you. We will learn about the different visualizers in order to create reports. Week number 11, we will learn the data visualization by using visualizers to create dashboards. That is the last one that we have to learn. And finally, on the last week of the term, we will have the group research presentation. So we will spend 2 classes, 2 lecture classes. That means on last Monday and Wednesday of the last week of this term, to have the group research presentation. So everybody in each team has to just like present on what your team has done so far, and then just like present it to the class. Okay, so for the specification or the requirement for the group research that you have to do, I'll just like introduce to you when we reach that part. That means normally I will start setting up the group for you after midterm. And then I'll just like assign the task to you when I just like set up the group for you, so that you and your group mate can just like prepare just like the content and the presentation for that group research. Also, I may assign some assignments that I would like the group to work, the members of the group to work together as well, and submit it as the assignment. Okay. So altogether, this is the 48 hours course. So now we move on to the plan for assessing the course learning outcome. For this course assessment, we have the formative assessment. The formative assessment consists of some of the non-graded assignments and feedbacks. These are, I call it as practice problems that I'll just like give it to you from time to time. And then we have midterm and final examination. So these are the formative assessment. While summative assessment, we also have the summative assessment as well. Now let's see the percentage. Okay, let me just like see a bit. Okay. So these are just like the ratio, the assessment ratio for each CLO that I just like put them in to this table. You may read it by yourself for this one. Okay. The next one, okay. We just like separate the evaluation methods into four different evaluation methods. The first one, midterm exam, it's 40%. Final exam, 35%. Group project is 20%. And the assignments in here, assignment in here, some part might be individual assignment. Most of them are individual assignment, And just like some of the assignment might be the group assignments that you have to work together and then submit the work. That is for 5%. Total, it's 100% for this evaluation that we have got. Okay. So the grading system, this one is just like the standard of MUIC and the whole MUs for the grading systems. You can earn grade A if you receive the score 90 to 100. Okay, B plus is 85 to 89, B is 80 to 84, C plus is 75 to 79, C is 70 to 74, D plus is 65 to 69, and D is from 60 to 64. F is when you get less than 60 points. So I hope that everyone should get more than F for this course, so that you can just like pass this course and then go to another subject. Okay, right. So there's no re-examination specified in this one. Okay. And this course, we also have the student appeals. Student can seek for academic advices and contents and evaluation clarifications from instructor and program directors during office hours or by appointment. In addition, MUIC provides students the opportunity to formally appeal on academic related matters through an appellant letter submitted to the college. Okay. So this one, section number 6, this is the teaching materials and resources. Actually, these books are in the library, but actually, if you cannot access to the library easily, you can just like search for some information over the internet as well. All right. Okay. And so for section number 7, this is the evaluation and improvement of course management. So the first one is about the strategies for evaluating course effectiveness by students. We have mid-trimester feedback that are anonymous from students. And we also have the formal students evaluation at the end of the trimester with the results monitored by a program director. Number 2, for the strategies for evaluating teaching methods, we have key evaluation based on class visits. We have formal students evaluation at the end of the trimesters on teaching methods. Number 3, for the improvement of teaching methods, attendance of teaching and learning trainings or seminars. Improvement through closing the loop activity using feedback from students and result of evaluation of course learning objectives. And also we have dialogue with peers. For a verification process for evaluating students' standard achievement outcome in the course, we receive comment from students on learning outcome and evaluation criteria. Formative feedbacks on students' project and papers are communicated to students. Evaluation of course learning objective by faculty members through several evaluation methods recorded in an assurance of learning or AOL reports. And for the review and plan for improving the effectiveness of the course, we have continuous improvement through closing the loop activity using feedbacks from students and result of the evaluation of course learning objectives. And also we have formal dialogue among program directors, AOL documents, and curriculum development subcommittee and responsible faculty members. Okay. So the rest of them are the appendix. So these are like the information that I just like would like to let you know for the course syllabus of this subject. Okay, up to this point, do you have any questions for the course syllabus? I will also upload this course syllabus into the MUSC e-learning as well. So all right. So if you don't have any questions, let me just like talk about the tools that we have to use in this subject first. When we when you went to Sky Plus, I think you saw my announcement, so that's why you can come to the Zoom properly. That means you saw my announcement already. You can see that in my announcement, I told you that in this term we have to use two software. I have two software tools that we have to use. So the first one is Microsoft Excel. The first one is Microsoft Excel. For the Microsoft Excel, you can use any Microsoft Excel version from 2010 and above. That means some of you may say that you have 2015 version. That is okay. 2016, that is okay. 2019, that is okay. It can be on Mac or on Windows. No problem. Both of them are applicable. But the position of the menu might be different a bit. That is not the problem at all. You can just like use those two different versions. And sometimes if you use Mac, sometimes you use Windows-based computer, sometimes no problem at all, because this file when you save the Excel file already, you can just like open it by using different platforms on both Mac and Windows as well. But if you have used like very old version of Excel, for example, somebody said that I have only like very old version like Excel 2007, you cannot use it because some of the tools that we have to use in this course is compatible with the Excel 2010 version onward, not the older than that one. Okay, right. What about Google Sheets? Google Sheet is not allowed because there are like a lot of difference from Google Sheets and Excel. What about numbers? What about numbers on Mac? Numbers on Mac cannot be used either because Excel is like created by Microsoft company. They have their own standards in order to just like set up the formula and everything. If you use numbers that is created by Apple company, that is different story. If you use Google Sheets that is created by Google company, that is different story as well. So that's why we cannot just like use that kind of software. We have to use Excel only. And the next software that is really important. The next software is will be used after midterm exam. We'll use a software that we call it as Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. That is the free software that you can download from the internet. But Microsoft Power BI, unfortunately, it's created for Microsoft Windows-based computer only. So that means if you use Mac, you cannot just like install this software directly. You cannot install Microsoft Power BI directly. The things that you may have to do, let's see the solution that I told my former students to do. We have 3 different choices. First one, you may just like have to obtain or borrow some other computers, the Microsoft Windows computer from other people. Some of the students rent the Windows-based computer for 2 months, and then just like use for the course. Or somebody just have to install some special software into their Mac in order to install Power BI. So these are just the things that we have to know. So if you don't or if you cannot install, or if you cannot have Power BI นะครับ after midterm you cannot study for this course นะครับ so I just like don't want to say like this อาจารย์วีรา just like let me to remind the students on day one นะครับ of the course that okay if you cannot obtain this software นะครับ you have two choices the first one obtain it นะครับ we give the time for you or second one you may have to drop this course because this course really need to use the Microsoft Power BI software that you need to use it on Microsoft Windows based computer but I mean like if you have used Mac you can just like install some special software as well but if you don't know how to just like install it my suggestion is that you better just like go to the IT store to let the IT people to just like install this kind of thing for you I'll recommend you how to do it when we have to just like use that part but anyway we lucky last year some of the students they couldn't install those software by themselves and unfortunately we were locked down and at that time they couldn't go to any shopping center or IT store because all of them were closed so they couldn't just like use a choice to install the software they had to just like borrow the computer from other people instead okay right so this is the software that we have to use we have to use two software in this term one is Microsoft Excel for the first half of the term and the second half of the term we will use Microsoft Power BI okay right okay then about the software that we have to use up to this point do you have any questions anyone okay. So if you don't have any questions before I move on to introduce you this the software that we have to use for the first half of the term that is Microsoft Excel let me just answer some question that some students just asked me in the chat box how do we check attendance sorry for being late okay the attendance actually I will just like do two things the first one before we finish the class before we finish each lecture I'll let you turn on the camera and then I'll capture the screen to make sure that you are with me the second one I'll just like use the report in Zoom because in the for the report in Zoom it just like I can just like generate the report in order to see how long do you just like attend the course do you attend the class for each class and then I'll just like summarize it this is the way that I check for the attendance and I just like would like you to make sure when you have to just like use Zoom when you have to use Zoom if you use other people's computer or other people's Zoom's account make sure that you make the display name on Zoom to be your name because otherwise when I just like check the attendance it will be another person's name and especially when I just like pull the report from Zoom it might be some other people's display name instead of your ones so I suggest you to use your own account in order to log in into Zoom for the class oh by the way let me talk about the examination the midterm and final examination for the midterm and final examination we will just like use another software in order to just let you go to the I mean live mode นะครับ that is like we use WebEx นะครับ that I'll introduce you next on นะครับ we will not use Zoom because like I mean like to be standardized นะครับ for every section we use that software นะครับ and we have to use the e-learning as well นะครับ MUIC e-learning as well. So in order to just like submit your assignments, in order to submit your examinations นะครับ on both midterm and final exam นะครับ we'll do it on MUIC e-learning. So do not use other people account นะครับ in order to log in into e-learning. Otherwise when you submit the work it will become other people's name instead and then we cannot mark the score for you นะครับ okay so be careful about that. Okay so now นะครับ that should be all for just like the basic things that you should know นะครับ okay so if you don't have any questions นะครับ let me just like begin with the software that we have to use นะครับ at the first half of the term นะครับ so we are going to use Microsoft Excel first นะครับ and we learn about Microsoft Excel until midterm exam นะครับ after that นะครับ when we come back after midterm นะครับ we start the new software straight away นะครับ we rarely use Excel after that นะครับ but anyway you may have to just like use Excel to open up the file to view the content of the file a bit นะครับ but we don't learn any function more after midterm นะครับ okay but anyway Excel will be useful for you นะครับ in the future for other subjects นะครับ as well and also when you go to work when you go for internship นะครับ Excel is also important okay so now นะครับ everyone just like start your Microsoft Excel นะครับ in your computer นะครับ if you use Mac it's easy you just search for Excel and then you just like start for it and for anyone who use Windows hang on. Anyone who use Windows นะครับ you can just like type to search and then you can type Excel in here นะครับ or you can just like click on start button and then you just like scroll to E นะครับ to find Excel as well and then you start it นะครับ okay let me introduce to you นะครับ when you start Microsoft Excel normally it will just like you see the introduction screen for Excel here นะครับ on the left hand side it shows the recently opened file นะครับ on Excel here on the right hand side นะครับ it shows all the templates that Excel provide for you นะครับ it also just like provide some tutorial for you as well นะครับ some of the people use Excel for just like prepare the calendars นะครับ to prepare some I mean content นะครับ for example the budget of your company นะครับ of yourself balance sheet นะครับ invoice นะครับ or or report something like that นะครับ but in this class we use the blank workbook anyway นะครับ we use the blank workbook anyway so in this one นะครับ just like click on blank workbook นะครับ okay and then I'll just like explain the component นะครับ on Excel for you นะครับ so now let's understand the term workbook first workbook actually in Excel is a file นะครับ a file in Microsoft Excel we call it as a workbook นะครับ a file in Microsoft Excel consists of many pages นะครับ each page we call it as sheet นะครับ worksheet or sheet นะครับ worksheet or sheet so now we have workbook and worksheets worksheets are pages inside the workbook นะครับ okay right now we are in book 1 of Excel if you just like create a new blank workbook it's called as book 1 but whenever you would like to change the name นะครับ it is like when you save the file it will ask you to rename this file from book 1 to other name instead. Okay. So now let's see. The first part is the top line of your Microsoft Excel screen here. We call is in this one as like the title line. You can see that in here we are on book 1 Excel file. And on the left hand side we have like the quick shortcut for you. The top left corner is save. This is the quick save. So that means if you just like want to run out for a meeting or doing something else, for example, if you say that, okay, you're waiting someone to pick you up from the coffee shop, I recommend you, don't just like close your laptop lid and run away while you are working on Excel. The better way is that before you shut down the computer or before you close the lid of your laptop, just click save first, and then you can just like close the lid. This one is to avoid the damages of the data. If you just like close the lid and when you open the lid once again, some of the computer is not stable. If you close the lid and then you open the lid later on, the computer might be freezing. If you don't save, you lost all the data. So I can tell you that you should frequently save the file in Excel. All right. Also, you have undo and redo button. Undo and redo button, and you can just like customize the quick access toolbar as well. But actually, we use the frequently used buttons here. Okay. On the right hand side, what are they? In this one, sign in. Sign in this for sign in button here. This is for Microsoft Excel from 2016 version onwards. What is it for? This one is the software that you can share with other people, because when Google just developed their own Google Sheets, you can see that if you send the link of your Google Sheet to other people, they can also just like doing the things like what to say, update the data in the Google Sheets while you are doing it as well, and then you can see it. Excel can do it, can do the same thing. If you sign in by using your account, and then you just like give or you share this file to your friend, let's say, or to your co-workers. They have to sign in as well on the Microsoft account. When you are editing this workbook, your co-workers can see the changes, and also they can, if you allow them to change, you will also see what they are changing as well, as the real-time ones. Okay. The next one, these are just like showing or hiding ribbons. What are the ribbons? The ribbons are just like the big gray band here. I'll explain it next on. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to the next row. The next row here, these are the menus. We have file, home, insert, page layout, and so on. You may not have like the same. You may not have the same menu as my one. For example, you may not have developer and Acrobat. Don't worry about it. We'll add it later on. Okay. So I have a question on the chat box. Do we need to sign in via MUIC account? Actually, no need. In this class, we use it as just like the offline mode for your Excel file. We sign in only when you would like to save this file on OneDrive, or you would like to share this file to your friends. Okay, then we just use that one. But I mean, normally we don't need to just like sign in. Okay, right. Oh, by the way, when we talk about the sign in, I just like think about one software. Some of the students, you may say that you don't have Microsoft Excel what should we do in this case นะครับ apart from Microsoft Excel on Windows Microsoft Excel on Mac you can use Microsoft Excel 365 as well นะครับ you can use Excel 365 as well where is it and what is that kind of software นะครับ so you can go to MUSC portal นะครับ to go to that software as well นะครับ Microsoft Office 365 is okay too, but the menu might be different from the basic Excel that we have got นะครับ okay right okay นะครับ now let's see the next one นะครับ after the menu bar here นะครับ we have the ribbon นะครับ that correspond to each menu นะครับ when you click file นะครับ it just like show the introduction menu นะครับ the initial menu for us the next one นะครับ is home menu นะครับ the ribbon in the home menu นะครับ are just like what we use นะครับ most of the time นะครับ and then we have insert นะครับ that you can just add charts you can add pivot table and so on นะครับ we will talk about like each menu in details when we reach that part นะครับ formulas menu is to insert the function that you have got data menu is when you just like would like to sort to filter the data นะครับ to just like set up the forecasting นะครับ on and the model of your data นะครับ okay review is just like when you send it to other people and then they want to make a comment and change some data for you view to see the worksheet in different ways okay right okay I'll not talk about developer menu นะครับ because we just like we will just have to add it later นะครับ Acrobat is only when you just like install the Acrobat PDF in order to create it นะครับ I install it so that's why I see it here นะครับ okay now นะครับ let's see underneath the ribbon if you would like to hide this ribbon นะครับ you can just like click นะครับ the triangle button here to collapse the ribbon here นะครับ to see just like most of the data most of the area will be your worksheet only นะครับ okay when you want to bring the ribbon back นะครับ when you want to bring the ribbon back you just have to click on the menu and then you can see นะครับ the ribbon already but if you just like click on your worksheet นะครับ it's hidden once again in this case if you want to make your ribbon to be shown permanently นะครับ you have to click on that menu and then on the right hand side นะครับ bottom right hand side of the ribbon you see the pin นะครับ you click on pin the ribbon so it will be there นะครับ that means once you click on your worksheet นะครับ the ribbon is not hidden anymore นะครับ okay right okay after that นะครับ underneath the ribbon you have like the boxes the white boxes what are they นะครับ now let's talk about the white boxes on the left first we call it as name box นะครับ name box here นะครับ we use it for two different purposes the first one to tell the name นะครับ of that of each location that you are going นะครับ for example in my one it shows G12 in here or right now it shows A1 in here นะครับ I'll just like talk about it next on นะครับ for the location like this or it can show the name of that location as well นะครับ okay now you just see the location นะครับ not the name when we just study more I'll talk about how to name that location นะครับ next one is about the formula this one is to just like let you add the formula into your Microsoft Excel workbook นะครับ for example when you click on FX button this is to insert a function you see a pop-up box here นะครับ and then you can just like search for the function that you would like to use นะครับ and click go you see the function นะครับ in the list together with just like the syntax of the function นะครับ that what does this function need. For example, this function is called text function. It needs two different values inside, that is value and format text, have in the parentheses, and also underneath it shows the description of that function as well. Okay, this is the function box. After that, on the right hand side, the rightmost white box here, very long box, we call this box as formula bar. Formula bar tell us what formulas, what functions that you use, that you are using, what value that you enter in each location. It will be changed in the content of the formula bar when you just like click on different box underneath. I'll just like show you later on. Okay, so right now you know about the title bar, menu, ribbons, name box, insert function box, and formula bar already. Now let's move on to the next part. The next part in here, these are just like the working area for Microsoft Excel, or it is the content of the worksheet that we have got. In each worksheet, inside, it consists of very, very small rectangle connected to each other, like this. Each box, or each rectangle, we call it as a cell, CELL cell. So in each worksheet, we have millions of cells connected to each other. We can use it for like different purposes that we can just like would like to use. In each cell, you can enter the data. For example, you can enter text, you can enter numbers, you can enter any values, you can enter formula inside as well. That is the calculation between different cells, something like that. And in order to refer to a cell, or if you would like to identify a cell, you need to know how to identify it in here. A cell can be identified by using the vertical ones, the vertical naming convention and the horizontal naming convention here. So you can see that on the what to say, vertical ones here, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. This one we call it as columns. Column A, column B, column C, column D. So the word cell that I type in is located in column D. And what about the first part, the numbers on the left hand side? This is what we call row number. So in order to identify a cell, you have to use column and row. So in this one, the word cell that I type in is located in the cell D2. D2. You can see on the name box as well that right now, if I click on the cell that I type in, it shows D2 here. It shows D2 here. So this is the cell D2. Now, normally when we start the new Microsoft Excel workbook, it just, sorry, the cursor on the active cell, normally they start from cell A1 first, and then you can just like start doing the things that you want to have. Okay, so now let's see. When you just like move the mouse pointer from cell, let's go to cell A1 first. When you move the mouse pointer to the cell A1, when you want to go to that cell, just click on that cell. But if you want to enter the data, you can go to that cell. For example, if I go to cell C14 and I want to enter the data, I can go to cell C14 and then double click on it, you see the cursor that is blinking. And if I type test, you can see that right now in cell C14, it has the word test inside. At the same time, the formula bar is show the word test as well. So that means right now the data that you see on the cell and formula bar has the same value. What do I mean? Sometimes the value in the formula bar and the value in the cell might be different as well, according to the formula, according to the settings that I'll talk about later. So now let's come back to how to identify the cell first. You can see that this one, we are at cell C14, right? While we are at cell C14, if you click the mouse pointer at C14, the column C will be shown as gray, while the row 14 will be shown as gray as well, so that you can just like have a look easily that we are at cell C14 in case that we have like thousands of cells that you are using. Right. Okay. Now, what is the next thing? The next thing is that Gigi said that, okay, internet problem. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now let's see how to navigate to other cells. So you can use the arrow button on your keyboard to go to different position in the cell. Let's try by yourself. You can just use up and down, left and right arrow to go to different position. Or you can use the mouse pointer to click on the position of the cell that you want to go. Okay. If you would like to go to like many cells, lower down, you can use page up and page down button on your keyboard to go as well in here. Okay. So these are just like the way in order to go to different cells that you want to have. If you want to go to a specific cell, for example, if you want to go to the cell M1000, M1000, instead of typing or pressing page down many times, you can go to name box, click in the name box and type the cell location that you want to go. For example, you want to go to M1000, you type M1000 and then press enter. Now you can see that the cursor is at cell M row 1000. This is cell M1000 that you can go. Okay. Now, if you want to go back to the very first cells on the top, let's say cell A1, you have a couple of ways to do that. Firstly, you can just like type page up, page down, or left arrow, right arrow, up, down arrow in order to go to cell A1. Or you can just like click on the name box and type A1 there and press enter. Or we have the shortcut key. If you use a full size keyboard, you can press Control Home. It goes back to cell A1 straight away. Control Home means that you want to go to the top left corner of the worksheet. That is a cell A1. Okay, right. So apart from that one, what else that you should know? When we talk about the columns, in the worksheet, after we have column X, column set already. The next column after column set is column AA. So that means we are using two letters in order to represent the column. And when we finish at AZ, it starts with BA. Go to BZ, CA to CZ until we have ZZ. Okay, let me just like show you that when we go to okay ZZ okay ZZ 1 after ZZ it start with the 3 letters นะครับ to represent a column already A B A C and so on. So that means in one worksheet you can have millions of cells นะครับ and if you ask me that normally do we use the whole millions of cells? No ครับ we don't use like all of them because of what? If you try to use like too many cells นะครับ if you try to use too many cells in a worksheet, in order to just like calculate the things in that worksheet, it will be very slow นะครับ because Excel will have to recalculate everything for you. So that means somebody may just like use not many cells. For example, they can just like they may use the cells up to like thousands of cells or thousands of rows only นะครับ 20 or 30 columns only นะครับ because I mean like especially for the accountants when they have to use the Excel, sometimes they have to use like thousands of cells นะครับ in order to store their data, something like that. But sometimes for some of the people they may use like hundreds of cells, and then when they just like say that okay they have another set of data, they go to create another worksheet instead นะครับ for example we may use like one worksheet นะครับ we may use one worksheet to store the data of a year or a data of a month only. When we have another month we create a new worksheet นะครับ in one workbook or in one book we can have many worksheets, so don't worry. For example, if you say that you want to collect the data for the whole 2021 นะครับ year, you may say that okay I want to collect or I want to store the data นะครับ 1 month per one worksheet. That is okay ครับ then you can have 12 worksheets in your workbook, no problem. Okay, now let's go back to our worksheet here first. You can see that when you start the new workbook นะครับ Excel create the first worksheet for you นะครับ that is called sheet 1. You can just like change the data in here, you can rename it. And if you want to have more worksheets, you can see that you have like plus sign นะครับ in the circle here. If you click on there, it will create the new sheet for you. Now we have sheet 2, sheet 3 and so on นะครับ then you can just like use the worksheet นะครับ as many as you want นะครับ in here how can we just like do the worksheet? How can we manage the worksheet? The worksheet here นะครับ we can shuffle the position. For example, if you want sheet 4 to come before sheet 1, you can just like click and hold sheet 4 and then you will see the small black triangle นะครับ if you move นะครับ your mouse pointer to the left hand side, you can see that the black triangle just move นะครับ along as well. So now this is the new position of this sheet because I'm clicking on sheet 4, right, and then hold my mouse button here. If I drag นะครับ to the left hand side, you can see that right now นะครับ the small black triangle is moving to in front of sheet 1 already. If I release, you can see that sheet 4 come before sheet 1 นะครับ, or I can move it back anytime that I want to นะครับ. So this is the way that we can just like manage our worksheet inside the workbook. If you have some worksheets that you don't use นะครับ you can delete it. You can delete it as well. For example, I know that okay in my workbook here I want just 2 worksheets only. I accidentally add sheet 3 and sheet 4 and I don't want to use them. In order to just like delete these sheets นะครับ the way to do is that you move your mouse pointer over that sheet tab ครับ now my mouse pointer is over sheet number 4, right? Then we right click, you see the context menu here, insert, delete, rename, move or copy นะครับ we use like these four menus. Okay, insert means that if you want to insert a new worksheet นะครับ Delete means you want to delete that worksheet. Rename is to rename that worksheet นะครับ move or copy means that you want to move that worksheet to what position, or you want to duplicate or copy that worksheet to be another one นะครับ okay. So in here, suppose I say that I don't want sheet 4. I right click and then choose delete. Now sheet 4 is deleted already นะครับ If I don't want sheet 3 as well, I do the same thing. Right click and then choose delete. Now, I go back to sheet 1. If you can remember, I type some text in like the word cell, the word test, something like that. So if I delete sheet 1, what will happen? Let's see. Once I right click on sheet 1 and choose delete, it doesn't delete immediately, but it will ask me that Microsoft Excel will permanently delete this sheet. Do you want to continue? Why does this sheet is showing this pop-up box? When other sheets, it doesn't show. The reason is because this sheet you have some data in นะครับ It's not because the name is sheet 1 นะครับ It's because you have some content in this sheet. That's why it remind you first to make you ensure that you don't want this, you really don't want this sheet anymore. While sheet 2, you don't have anything in there. If you right click and then delete, it doesn't ask you, it deletes straight away in here, right? Okay. So now we talk about like different sheets that we can have already. The old version of Excel, once you create a new workbook, it just like create first the 3 worksheets for you. But later on, Microsoft developers, they found that not everybody use 3 sheets. Normally, many people, they use just 1 sheet in their workbook only. So that's why they just create 1 sheet for you. And if you want to have like more worksheets, you can add more. Okay, so that you can save the space in your file and in the memory as well. Okay, so now we have sheet number 1 already. What are we going to do next? The next thing that I just want to let you see a bit is here. You can see that underneath the sheet tab, you see ready. You see ready. Ready here means that your Excel is ready. You can enter any data as you want. But apart from the word ready, sometimes you see the word running. If Excel is showing the word running or other words than the word ready, it means that you cannot do anything because right now, right then, Excel is processing something. You have to wait, especially when you have so many functions in your worksheet, and those worksheets, the functions that you enter need to be recalculating when you just like move the mouse pointer. It will be shown as running or processing instead of ready. Then you have to wait. Okay. And on the bottom right corner, this is zoom in, zoom out. If it is just like too big, in case that you want to see the whole page, you may have to just like zoom in, zoom out, so that you can just like see the bigger picture of your worksheet in here. Okay, but for me, I normally have to zoom in so that you can just like see it easily. Okay, right. Okay, so up to this point, do you have any questions, anyone? All right. So if you don't have any questions, let's start with just like a basic data entry a bit. Okay. So let's start typing the data. Okay, so when you start typing, you can see that, okay, previously I just like typed some text wrongly before. If you go to other cells already, and then you go back, and then you just realize that, hey, cell A1, I typed something wrong. And then you just like click the mouse pointer over cell A1 and type something. This one, it means that you delete the old data already นะครับ you are replacing with a new one. Sometimes you type something already and you don't want to just like delete most of the parts. You just like want to change something only. For example, in here, I say that, hey, it is not ABC sales, but it's ABC company. What should we do? In order to edit your cells นะครับ you have to double click on the cell so that you see the cursor inside, and then you can change as you want, and then you press enter, or you click the mouse pointer over that cell นะครับ in the formula bar it shows the same value here, right? So in here you can click the mouse pointer นะครับ on the formula bar instead, and then you can type something on the formula bar and press enter. Then it will affect นะครับ it will affect the data in your cell as well นะครับ in here. Okay, right. Okay นะครับ so when we have this already นะครับ let's start entering the data นะครับ okay, so in here นะครับ somebody, when you have to enter the data, for example, if I say that, okay, I want to enter number 1 to number 12, you can just like type 1, press enter. Normally the nature of Excel, once you press enter, the cursor or the active cell will move down on one row from row 5 to row 6, and then I press number 2, press enter. It just jumped to row number 7. I press 3, press enter, 4, 5, something like that. You can see that in here, I have to spend the time in order to enter the numbers. This one, when the numbers are in the series like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on like this, Excel has a feature to fill up this data by itself. You don't need to type in for all numbers, but Excel would like you to provide some example for it. For example, if you say that you want number 1 to 12 in the continuous numbers like this, then you can type just 1 and 2 just 1 and 2. So highlight the cell. How to highlight? You just click and drag like this, click and drag, so that you can see the green boxes around the cell A5 and A6 and on the bottom right corner of the green box you see the green dot. On the green dot here, it helps you to fill in automatically of the data. Once you move the mouse pointer, normally the mouse pointer, if you just like if you don't click on anything but you just move, you see the white cross the white cross arrow here or the white cross pointer here. But if you move the white cross pointer to the green dot, you can see that it changed to be black cross instead. Okay, the black cross here is telling us that you can autofill the data. How can we do that? From the black cross, you drag. Drag means that you click on the mouse pointer and drag without releasing the mouse pointer down. You can see that there are just like some guidelines to tell you that, okay, what numbers you are at right now. So you can see that I have a bubble that is showing 12. That means if I release the mouse button right now, the data will be shown from 3, 4, 5 until 12. Okay, then I release the mouse pointer now. Now this is automatically filled up by Excel for you. Okay, let me do it again. I have to give some example. I have to provide some example for the numbers that I want to have first. Now I have 1 and 2, right? I want 3, 4, 5 to 12. I just highlight 1 and 2 that I created. Move mouse pointer to the green dot until I see the black cross, and then I drag it down. If I just like choose the position wrongly, I move the mouse pointer wrongly. I don't just move the mouse pointer on the green dot. You can see that right now I have the 4 directional arrows instead. If I drag, it will move the cells instead of automatic filling up the data. Okay, then I have to move back first. Okay, here. Okay, I want number 3 to 12. Okay, here. What if I have some other numbers? For example, I have 1 and 3. You can see that right now, this is not the continuous numbers anymore. There'll be another kind of series of data. So if you drag, it'll be 5, 7, 9, and so on. This one, I'm creating the odd numbers, series of odd numbers instead of continuous numbers. So in here, I want number 1 to 12, right? Then I have to just like highlight 1 and 2 and then drag it down. Then I get 1 to 12. Okay. Any questions about the automatic numbering in Excel? Apart from numbers, month or some values that are common values can be automatically filled up as well. Month is an example of automatically fillable data. For example, in this one, instead of typing January, February, March until December manually, you can provide some example for Excel. In here, I give, to example, January and February. That should be enough. So I highlight these 2 cells, 2 months name. After that, I move the mouse pointer over the green dots on the bottom right corner of this box. Then I drag. You can see that now. The bubble is showing December, right? When I release, it shows March until December for me. What if we just drag over December? What will happen? It will restart at Jan once again. In here, see that? When it comes to December, it will restart at Jan, Feb, March, and so on. This is the way how automatic filling for the month does. Okay. What if you mistype? Suppose you mistype February, and then you try to do automatic filling. You can see that in here. Excel try to fix it up, but it fixed wrongly. So this one, you have to fix it by just fixing the name of February to be the correct one. Otherwise, it cannot generate the proper series of data for you. Okay. This is the basic data entry for the text. The next thing that you have to know for the data that you are entering, there are data type that you have to know. There are data type that you have to know. Data type means the type of data that can be manipulated differently. They work for different purposes. For example, when we talk about these values from cell A5 to A16, you can see that these are running numbers that I created. They are numbers. The types are numbers. And you can see that in here, they are integers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. While month, January to December, these are texts. นะครับ these are texts that we type in นะครับ apart from that one นะครับ we may have currency data as well นะครับ that we are going to enter นะครับ next on so everyone just like start typing the revenue ครับ normally when you enter the currency data นะครับ the currency data in Excel นะครับ we enter just the value only นะครับ don't enter any currency symbol นะครับ nor the comma as well นะครับ so you can see that when you enter the data นะครับ that is the currency data okay let me just copy this revenue for you in the chat box นะครับ so that you can just like work easily okay so in here นะครับ the currency data that I usually type in I type just the numbers only if I have decimal points I can enter นะครับ but I never enter comma I never enter dollar sign นะครับ or the currency symbol over there the reason is because if you enter some other characters for example dollar sign or if you enter comma the value that you that is in that cell will become text instead text is non-calculatable value you cannot apply any functions on that text so that's why if you would like to enter the currency data just enter the number without currency symbol without comma but decimal point is okay so when you have this already นะครับ you many of you may have the question that by the way I want to have dollar sign and I want to have comma to separate these values so that I can read it easily yes you can have but you don't enter by yourself we will use formatting of the cells to make this dataนะครับ to be readable easily okay when you copy this revenue into your worksheet already นะครับ now I'm going to teach you how do we gonna enter or how do we gonna set up the format of this revenue to become the currency firstly you highlight this revenue first นะครับ highlight just only the cells that you want to set up the format of the cell after that we right click you can see that in here on the context menu you have a menu called format cells click on format cells it pops up another window in here there are many tabs there are many tabs number alignment font border fill and protection now we are focusing on number tab first in here it tells us that right now your data is the general data type in here we want to make it as currency then everyone just click on currency menu ครับ when you click on currency already นะครับ in this case the revenue here I means the revenue in dollars then I just choose the symbol have to be dollars okay I choose dollars let's say US dollars in here you can set up the decimal places as well in this one the default one is 2 decimal places we can just change it later on next one underneath the symbol it asks you that if the negative symbol or sorry if the negative numbers appear how do you gonna show it in this one the default one is on the first one of mine it is negative symbol before dollar sign นะครับ in terms of black color or you want everything to be shown in red color instead นะครับ it depends on you นะครับ because I mean like later on, some of you might see like different negative numbers on the screen that is different from my one. This is from the setting. There's no wrong. You can just like change to what symbol or what notation that you want to have. In here, I just use the default negative numbers. And luckily, our revenue, it doesn't have any negative number, so it shows all positive numbers in here. So you can see that right now, the revenue, all of them are showing in the leading dollar signs, have commas to separate the thousands, and then it has 2 decimal places. If you say that you don't want decimal places, you can highlight the cells, right-click, choose Format Cells, and then reduce decimal places in here. Or, okay, let me undo first. If I want to use shortcut, the shortcut can be used in here. You highlight the cell first. Then you go to Home tab. You can see that in the number group here, we have decrease decimal, increase decimal. In here, I choose decrease decimal. It will decrease the decimal place 1 at a time. Now I don't want 2 decimal places. I just click on decrease decimal 2 times. Now you can see that it shows us the amount of revenue only without the decimal places. Or somebody said that, can I set up the data type in here easily? Apart from highlight, right click and then choose Format Cell. Somebody may just highlight first and go to Home tab, number group, and then choose the data type in here. It depends on you. There are a couple of ways to access the same actions that you want to do. Just a little bit more before we finish the class today. You can see that, okay, when I click on the cell C5, you can see that in the cell C5, it shows $1,755,210. In here, this is the display. But our original data is in the formula bar. You can see that actually we enter 1755210. But we just like set the format up in order to show $ and comma to separate the 1,000 units. So you will see more that, okay, how difference between the data on the cell and in the formula bar are. That I'll just like show you on the next class. Okay. So up to this point, do you have any questions, anyone? Shiji asked me that we will share the recorded class lecture. Yes, I can just like provide the recorded class lecture, but it will not be the real-time one. I have to spend some time to edit it. So that means it might be just like for example, for this lecture and Wednesday lecture, I will have time to edit it during let's say Thursday or Friday, so I can post it at the end of the week, something like that. It is not the real-time one. Right. Okay. So in this one, if you don't have any questions, let's save this file. We will save this workbook together. So in order to save it, if it is the first time, when you click File and then Save, it asks you to save as instead because it's the first time for you. Then you just click Browse. Go to the folder that you want to save. So in this one, I just have saved in my folder. In here. So the file name here, I name it as my first book. Let's name it as my first book. The type is my Excel workbook. Actually there are like tens of types that you can save นะครับ but we use Excel workbook นะครับ as the default type to save นะครับ but if your colleagues นะครับ use very old version of Excel in order to downgrade the Excel you may have to click Excel type as Excel 97 to 2003 workbook instead นะครับ in here so now we use Excel workbook นะครับ and then when you name it as my first book already click save ครับ okay you can see that on the title bar it shows that it is my first book นะครับ in here and you have sheet 1 on the next time we'll talk about more in order to adjust นะครับ the columns the rows นะครับ and we'll talk about how to rename this worksheet นะครับ and copy this worksheet for other purposes okay right so that should be all for today นะครับ up to this point do you have any other questions ครับ anyone